line, red day, it can flip in no time. Green wig, big risk, I'm calm when the chat goes frantic. Fear high, greed low, I just read what the charts wanna show. New coin, old game, same rules when you're playing with flame. Welcome to the show, it's even now though. Every single level on the chart gets exposed. Crypto on my mind while the market's reload. Read it in the lines, yeah, the charts don't lie. Welcome to the show, it's 7 now though. Trading through the noise while the candles explode. If you wanna know where the next wave goes, watch it in real time, yeah, the charts don't lie. Yeah. Break out, fake out, I wait for the close, not a shout. Plan set, no guess, I'm stacking my wins, cut the stress. New high, pull back, I'm ready when price attacks. Fast moves, clear rules, we learn why the crowd chases move. Welcome to the show, it's 7 now though. Every single level on the chart gets exposed. Crypto on my mind while the markets reload. Read it in the lines, yeah, the charts don't lie. Welcome to the show, it's 7 now though. Trading through the noise while the candles explode. If you wanna know where the next wave goes, watch it in real time, yeah, the charts don't lie. Lock in, hit play, we're live, we're live. Don't look away. Evan Auto, yeah, the charts don't lie. Now you know.
What is up, guys? Evanaldo here. Welcome back to the channel. I just appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you guys are doing really well tonight or today. We'll talk about, kind of the latest, what I've been doing, you know, Bitcoin in terms of right here. Scalp long. The last one did get stopped out, but really good risk reward ratio. I think, shout out to Nightshoot in the Discord. I think he took this one with me, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to give you, to be fair to the obviously the people paying in the Discord, I'm not going to give you like stop loss, entry point, take profit on this, but well, you can see the entry point, but not stop loss and take profit. You know, check out the Discord. You know, $35 a month. I think it's a really good value. Been crushing it on the shorts lately, and then trying to make some sense of the range bound market. So the first thing too, yeah, what's up, A Supersonic? I think you're in it, obviously in the Discord. So a lot of good stuff there. Been doing it a while now. Here's the volume profiles right now. I mean, slightly. Actually, this is actually good because it's slightly down. This you should kind of redo like every day, just to move it if anything's changed. And I think this is kind of the new range you're forming, and I'm, you know, looking at 70K, you know, hopefully above that. It was a good risk reward ratio, so I think you will. I mean, I think you're going to get up to this spiral line, you know, probably, I don't know, by February 20th, you know, maybe even earlier. I think you're going to be range bound. You're going to move around, get people excited, you know, all that type of stuff that typically happens in, you know, any market when things move. But yeah, what's up, H here? So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at. It does look pretty good in the short term, especially as 3 hour, 4 hours. Well, come on. Connection's good. That's a little bit. Sometimes trading. I got too much stuff open. Let me just put this down. So yeah, I think with MicroStrategy too is like, I think it could have bottomed. Obviously, you know, you guys heard me talk about this a lot, you know, because it bottomed before Bitcoin last time, you know, in 2022. So could be pretty choppy. I do think you may break upward on this. You know, it may outperform a little bit, but you never know. I mean, for obvious reasons, you never know. But this is obviously the safest bet for, you know, the treasury companies and all that. XLE still, you know, showing a lot of strength here. Yeah, I think you got probably, you know, a few more months at least, I would say, you know. It was all, I mean, the simple thing here is, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that high up. It's probably not going to be all year that it outperforms Bitcoin, but, you know, maybe a few more months depending. And I think this could go higher. You know, we've talked about this. S&P 500, finally, you know, it's like every time you get a little excited or people get kind of excited for a new all-time high, nope. You know, and that's what you saw kind of here, or twice so far, I guess. A couple times, actually. Let's look at the daily. Once right there, you made a slightly well. Once, twice, yeah. I think you're going to come down. It does not look too good. Doesn't look too good. So that's what I will say. And yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think it's going to come down more. Will Bitcoin follow it down? I mean, not as much as people may think, but probably to a certain extent. But I don't think it's going to be that catastrophic, guys. That's why I don't think, you know, we got to take it one day at a time. But, you know, I would remain pretty optimistic on, you know, I think a lot of the damage already has been done. Can you go down to 50K? Absolutely. I mean, we lose 50K? I mean, maybe, you know. But I think you're kind of in a long-term DCA window for Bitcoin. We could talk about why is this not? What happened here? That's bizarre. Weird. Let's move this back. Yeah, I'm in MicroStrategy. I mean, that's just on spot. I'm not doing anything too complicated on that. You could do selling like cash secured calls on that, you know, up to 150. You could do that 1 month strategy. It's kind of like the wheel strategy to a certain extent. The aspect like you do a expiration 1 month out with a strike price, you know, approximately 25% upward, and you get a 4% return if it doesn't hit. I think MicroStrategy is going to consolidate a while, but you will probably get wicks up, you know, that type of thing. So, I mean, there's that. There's things you can do. You know, I'm no complete expert on options, but I'm not. You know, selling options is something that, you know, selling options, not buying options generally, but selling, well, buying if you know what you're doing, obviously. But I like the aspect of time too. I know, shout out to Flop and Groper, Nick Cipher. He mentioned, you know, letting, you know, time invalidate him, and I think that's not a decent plan. Or, I mean, if you're long, you just want to go long on something, just buy it on spot. I mean, just put more money on spot, you know. That's the thing. And I think, you know, the number one thing everybody should learn about trading or investing in general is kind of like, you know, if this trade or trading, let's say, if this trade, you know, doesn't go the direction I want it to go, will I be okay with that? And the answer is no. It's a problem. We have a major problem. What is going on with? Is this just on Coinbase? There's some glitch. Damn it. If I switch to, can I switch to Bitcoin here? Okay, we're okay. Cool. Yeah, so let me get my chart up. Yeah, short term, it's range bound. It's a scalper's market. You're probably going to come up 70, probably even higher. You know, like I've mentioned, my guess, typical bear market rally, you come up to about 25% would make sense, 24%. Could be 30%, usually not that high though, I would say. But yeah, I'm planning on holding MicroStrategy for a while. The thing with MicroStrategy, and we'll talk about this, I got this, shout out to Johnny M for this idea. I don't know if he's watching, but he's one of my moderators. You know, kind of the cash secured call, selling cash secured calls, you know, putting like limits out here, you know, kind of that area, 4% a month. And I would imagine this thing is going to consolidate for a while. You know what I mean? If it goes sideways, that's a good plan. But then again, just holding it for, you know, holding and seeing what happens, seeing if it can continue to, you know, outperform Bitcoin here. And it probably will. I mean, if you look at the last time, now it's down a little bit, but if you look at the last time here, but it generally, you know, outperformed Bitcoin. It had a big jump since April, you know, and that would equate to maybe back up to 0.0024, you know, that kind of area. So yeah, what's up? What's up, guys? Yeah, I always appreciate you guys smashing the like button. If you want to take some of these trades here, guys, check out. We got a new promo over on BloFin for the trading volume. It's a trading volume situation, and you get these bonuses. So check it out. 20% cash back with on your fees for life with my link as always. BidFi as well. Deposit 20K, get 2K on all these, and this is going on for till tomorrow. They usually extend this, so I'm just probably they may not extend it this time though, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so check those out if you guys are interested. And yeah, the Discord is at a pretty big bear market discount, only $35 a month. So yeah. We'll do another live chat in there relatively soon. Wanted to get out this thing. Yeah. Let's see, MicroStrategy versus ETH. Yeah, same situation there too. So you know, that's cool. And yeah, let's jump. Is this live? I hope so. Yeah, this is live. The first time somebody's asked me that in years of doing this, so that's something. Anyway, XRP Bitcoin. I mean, I wouldn't be too bullish on this yet, but hopefully you know come up. A couple others. I mean, I think XRP is probably one of the most attractive alts right now. You know, I think because you know, you look at the. Why is it not populating? Oh, I got to go on the. We need more data. No, we don't have enough. But right there, you know. $1.10, that bounce, 200 weekly SMA. It's possible monetary policies could have bottomed. I mean, I wouldn't bet the farm on that or bet a ton on that, but, you know, it could have. You know, that's just the situation there. So that's XRP. I wanted to look at, since you got the SPY coming down, it's probably Berkshire Hathaway is probably going to be jumping up against it. This was another, like, preserve your wealth, safe, you know, thing. For the 95-year-olds out there. I got a lot of 95-year-old viewers, probably not, but you know. This jump here. And yeah, I mean, I think it will continue to jump against S&P 500. So yeah. But yeah. We're doomed. Okay. No, I don't think it's going to be too bad. I think the Pam Bondi thing is kind of a good sell signal for the Dow and the SPY and all that. But No, I don't think we're doomed. I don't think we're doomed. I think it's not going to be as bad as 2022. I mean, for most things, I would argue probably maybe half as bad as this. This situation right here. Like you're probably going to see some red candles and all that, but you know, I would say maybe half. Maybe I'm thinking here. 602 if I had to guess. Typical corrections. 15. Yeah, 10 to 15. I've said. I don't know. I mean, uranium. I have that one. My blue chip for energy is going to be XLE, obviously. But was it you? Yeah, it should come. Why isn't that? It's got to be some type of glitch. Yeah, I mean, it is rejecting from this point. If it follows a correction to metals, this could come down. I don't have a ton of it, but I have some, and we'll see. I think it'll eventually come up higher. I mean, it's an individual company. Let's be real. I mean, there's going to be more risk. 7 billion market cap. I mean, a lot could happen here. Be careful. But yeah, I think uranium is just going to follow uranium. I think this should come up higher eventually. I mean, maybe it'll take a while, but yeah. What was the other thing I wanted to? Gold we can take a look at. I mean, I wouldn't rule out new all-time highs for gold by end of the year, but I do think, I'm more of the more sideways bearish, view on this. Can it outperform the S&P 500 on the way down? Maybe. It's tough to say here. It's tough. It's a weird one, man. It did break higher than pandemic highs, but now it's still higher than that slightly. I think that was pandemic highs in gold versus SPY. Yeah, and I believe let's actually look over some regular candles here. Yeah, it's higher. So could it break higher? Yeah, I mean, definitely possible, especially with everything going on. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I mean, I think it's wise to have a position in gold, even if it's nothing crazy. Mine's done pretty well, at least against S&P 500. You know, even if you bought, yeah, I mean, well, yeah, even if you bought a few months ago, nice jump. I mean, you outperformed the SPY, you know, by 30%, mind you. So yeah, let's see. If I look at copper, let's see here. Getting some new people. It reminds, it's a little bit nostalgic. I appreciate you guys, you new guys. Yeah, let's take a look at copper. I haven't looked at copper. Yeah, I guess the view is more money rotating into, other metals, and it is coming up here. Copper generally bleeds against gold, so I would be careful, because this chart is not very attractive. That's not, I'd probably rather buy gold. I think gold is the blue. I wouldn't buy silver right now. I think gold is if you're going to buy a metal, gold would be number one. Number two in my book would be uranium. Energy related, I like XLE the most. I think that's the most out of all those three. I think XLE is the best bang for your buck right now. But some diversification always helps you. I always appreciate you guys smashing the like button. So yeah, and let's see here. So we have, I mean, we could talk, MicroStrategy's the sequel is always worse than the original. So far you've seen that. I think the only intriguing thing on this is that you had your 90% correction. This thing's either going to zero at this point or, you had your 88%. This is either going to zero or it's going to recover, If you want to sprinkle in pennies, be my guest. I have not bought it. I may sprinkle in some pennies just for the hell of it. I mean, if we look at it against, I'm trying to find this chart to be attractive, looking at this against Bitcoin. And it's not, I wouldn't call it attractive, but it's not very unattractive, if you get my drift. If it outperforms Bitcoin, it probably will outperform ETH. I don't know. This against SPY, I don't know. This is even something worth looking at, but I mean, I'd be curious. Probably, yeah, 90%. I don't know. He could sprinkle in pennies. Tom Lee was bullish again. I don't know. I mean, I have no. The guy's gonna look like a genius if it works out, but keep in mind the sequel is always worse than the original. I feel like all these crypto big boys, their reputation's been terrible. Trump and everyone in general. So maybe some guy gets lucky. Maybe Tommy Lee gets lucky. XLE, yeah. I mean, that's probably the blue chip out of anything. If I wanted to be the most bullish on something right now, it's probably XLE would be number one. And then number two would be like, I mean, number two right now probably would be Berkshire Hathaway, but it would be close with like gold. You know what I mean? Like I'm just curious about this against gold. If this could go either way. It's tough to say here. I would think you'd see consolidation, you know, for a few years and break down lower or something, you know, something like over here. I would guess. Um, you know, interesting times we're in. I would say this monthly bottom signal, you know, anchor wave is something I wouldn't ignore, and I think that could keep you choppy at least for a few years. So if I had to choose between Berkshire Hathaway and gold, for this reason, I would probably pick Berkshire Hathaway. But gold is not, and if it's SPY versus gold, I mean that's tough. You know, maybe SPY. I don't know. It's tough. Bullshit going back 10 years. Yeah, I don't even know his background too much, man. I mean, I don't even he into I mean, I guess if you were into crypto at all 10 years ago, you seemed like a genius. So, I guess he got the general direction right. I think he's a little late to the game in terms of trying to start a treasury company, you know. But teach their own. I mean, I think that's a thing you would sprinkle pennies, you know. That would be pennies, like, you know. That would be something where like that would be something where a 30x you'd be happy with, but you know, that would be like if I put in, well, I mean, I don't know, if I put in $500 and got a 30x, what is that? You know, that's 15K. I mean, it's something. That's still pennies, but it's pennies to pennies. You know, I don't know. If you put in 1,000, I mean, 30. You know, assuming it does what MicroStrategy did last time, but it's gonna be hard to sell the damn top, obviously. I'm just thinking, you know, 1,000 to 30K. I mean, I don't even think you're gonna. If I had to guess, I would probably guess it would fail. But yeah, um, Chainlink's. I mean, let's look at it. Yeah, let's look at Chainlink. I just want to look at its Bitcoin evaluation before we look at anything else. Yeah, it doesn't look too attractive here yet. It may look more attractive soon, though. I guess the fear would be, you know, more blood. I don't know. Some of these churches look weird to me. Doesn't look terrible though. Link itself on its USD pair. Yeah, I don't know if that looks the most attractive to me. I mean, it feels like you may come back down to those lows. I think it's too early. It's just too early, I think, in my opinion. Um, I mean, the best things I like to trade are obviously Bitcoin and ETH. And really, if I had to pick the number one thing to trade, it would be Bitcoin for obvious reasons. Other things get attractive sometimes, but you know, that's one view too. You know, I think some of the most successful traders mistake. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've observed and kind of heard, it's like they always trade the same thing generally. So yeah. But yeah, I always appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's look at Cardano here. That's a big point. Like, I don't know. I mean, if you sprinkle in pennies and try to bet on, I mean, you could be really. I feel like they'll find a way to stop you out, though. It's a trap. You know, if you went long with a tight stop, if you did something like this, um, I mean, 25 cents is low. I mean, if you sprinkled on pennies on this, I mean, but it's just the altcoins are not. They're just not it. You know, I don't know. I mean, you get a 3-to-1 like this, you could try something small. You could try. I don't know. I would think consolidation, then maybe you drop down lower. But the thing is, too, like, assuming Cardano survives, and that's that's a bigger assumption than it used to be to make. Um, you know, you would see it do pretty well in the next cycle, but you know, so far it's not nothing in years. I mean, you know, um, how low will 2026 go for altcoins and Bitcoin? I would say somewhere between probably 40 to 50K for Bitcoin. I think it's tough to lose 40, in my opinion. I think a lot of the damage has been done, but I'm trying to, you know, convert over from the S&P 500 when the time is right. I bought some MicroStrategy, and I would convert that back over to Bitcoin if it makes a lower low against Bitcoin. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, I mean, obviously not bad fees, you know, if you're doing from MicroStrategy to iBit or something, you know, and diversification can be good in some ways, especially for keeping your things secure. Yeah, a lot of the great risk warranty. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true to a certain extent. You know, I haven't even heard of that coin key. I don't think it's the next. Nothing is ever the next thing that they say it will be. You know, because the sequel is always worse. You know, it's really never the. You know, it's never anywhere as good as the original. Or I mean, even the sequel to the last bull run was for all coins nothing. You know, and for Bitcoin, obviously diminished returns. You know, which equals worse. That doesn't mean I don't think you ever could have a better bull run in the future for Bitcoin, you know? So, yeah. Um, yeah, well, let's look at AVAX. I mean, that's really, yeah, I mean, that's another one that, you know, we'll see what ends up happening, but, you know, they're becoming crypto dust. I mean, I don't know, do you want this, you know? Well, you obviously don't, but do you want this below these lows? Probably not, you know? I would argue ApeCoin probably went to zero. What was that? Yeah, yeah, basically zero. I mean, a lot of stuff is going to zero, which you're kind of cleansing the market, which is good. Um, so yeah, um, I would say the riskiest bet, like I've been mentioning probably hundreds of times now, is probably MicroStrategy. That's the riskiest, the lowest risk, high reward bet, and then you could just convert it over to Bitcoin if it makes a lower low, like here. That's on ETH, but it's a similar thing. Um, so yeah, that's the thing I would be looking at there. Buying Bitcoin 10 is better. Trying to catch one thing. Yeah, yeah. I would say at least right now. I think there will be opportunities for altcoins. It's just I just don't think the risk to reward ratio is good right now. I think a lot of us in this game who have been in it a while, you know, I mean, we kind of know what was I like we kind of know how more of the markets work, and you see the same damn things happen every time too. Especially the sentiment early this year, later last year. You see things happen. So yeah, continuation X there. I don't know. That's not too good on ETH versus Bitcoin right now. So we'll see. It could be like that, and then you jump up. I don't know. Um, but yeah. I wanted to look at a couple of things here. Like I just wanted to look at why I don't trade headlines, but I like to look at them occasionally. Um, let's see. That's cool. To pay to boost American goods, but that's you know you could get some good steaks from America and Taiwan for cheaper than they are in America. Taiwan's a cool spot. Everything's down. It looks like. Oh, that's the day. Okay, pre-market is up slightly. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, more U.S. China type stuff. Yeah, I would say. Not too much there. Um, I wanted to look at fear and greed. I don't think that's changed. That's interesting. I think the last time you had fear like this was beginning of 2018 or something. Some areas after the bubble pop in 2018. You're in extreme fear. The only way this is going is up, in my opinion. I couldn't tell you what. I mean, we got up to neutral. What price were we at January 15th? I don't know, 90 something. So yeah, I mean, that was a good fear to actually follow the fear. You know, so it's not always gonna. You know, I think the fear we're in right now is a good long term buy, though, especially obviously for Bitcoin. You know, if you think MicroStrategy is going to survive, MicroStrategy, um, you know, those type of things. I think we will come up. I think this long should be successful. A lot of averages would tell us probably. So yeah, good risk reward ratio there. If you want more info on it, I don't think it's too late to take it, but obviously not financial advice. Check out the Discord down below if you guys are interested. CPI data in the morning. Yeah, I mean, I would say probably lower than expected or something, which probably would bring markets up. I don't know though. That's impossible to predict, obviously. I think the notion that that inflation's at negative numbers is kind of BS or very low number. I mean, there's still inflation. It's still above 2%. It's still not at a target rate. you know, and the Fed's not going to magically, cut a bunch of rates immediately. So that's that. So yeah. CPI data in the morning. The other thing that was interesting, take this with a grain of salt, but not a ton of trading volume on it, obviously. But if you look at Bitcoin's price by the end of 2026, this is interesting. So obviously the 10%, these are low, obviously of making a new all-time high. That's pretty low. One thing, I mean, it's not impossible, but that's low. 120, that's pretty low. 40% chance of 100. I don't think that's gonna get there, but 50% chance of 90. Here's where it gets very probable. Hitting 80 at some point. I don't know if you're gonna get there this rally, but we'll see. Excuse me. Hitting 50 is where, these are all very likely numbers. 45 is 44%. So you could definitely get away with it going down to 45, 48, 50K. You can get away with that. You know what I mean? Based on this, your most likely bottom is going to be somewhere around 48 to 50K. That's your most likely bottom. Now, when do you hit that? I don't know. Now, we could kind of, map this out a little bit. Now, let's do a couple. Let's look at the weekly 300. This is at 50. That's the 300, right? I think. What am I? No, it's the 200. We didn't even hit that yet. Ooh, I didn't realize we technically did not even hit that. Let's look at the 300. 300 is right at 50. By the time you hit that, we don't know when we're going to hit that, but you hit that area, that could easily be the bottom. If you argue diminished returns, you still can make an argument that FTX, it wouldn't have gone down. That was your bottom in June. You still can make an argument that this would be your bottom, and that would also account for diminished returns. Now, when do you hit this? March, April, 50, 52K, situations like that. That's what I would guess. So, yeah. Let's see here. Popped on my phone. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, Bitcoin dot, sure. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Why not? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. AVAX could. I mean, people are calling it scam-a-lanch now, so I'm a little concerned, but, we'll see. Yeah, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. I think that's the thing too. This does make you a little bit more bullish on alts when you see this, because it looks more bearish, but that don't mean that, that don't mean every alt's going to do well in its USD pair, but it does look a little bit more bearish. Drop down, yeah. That's the thing. I mean, I don't know. For the Discord, do you guys want more altcoin stuff? I could do more research on some of them. It's just, when I look at MicroStrategy versus all of them, that looks more bullish. If I were to buy an alt, I'd probably buy XRP. That's the thing. A nice American company, American crypto. So yeah. Come up with another black swan. I don't know. I wouldn't, like, you didn't really have any in 2018. If you do get another one, I don't think it's going to be this year. So yeah. Yeah, we could do more stuff on alts. I'm not the biggest expert on alts. I know more than a lot more than the average person. There's somebody else that I may have post more stuff on alts for long-term accumulation. I mean, I think that's a venture capitalist strategy. I think the summer is going to be more the better place to get into alts. I think this is DCA Bitcoin, get enough Bitcoin, that get as much Bitcoin as you want over the next few months. I think that's kind of your area. Or try to, if you did Bitcoin versus, let's do, Bitcoin versus SPY, and that I would argue would be probably not much lower than, than you've seen, that 2-week 200. So that's interesting too. On the weekly 200, you're below it. Yeah, you're below up on the 2-week one. So I could guess there, or a little bit lower than that. Like, I think you're getting close to the bottom on this pair, kind of. Like, I don't think you're going to go that much lower. I mean, I would remain a bit more bullish, yeah. I would say XRP did. Yeah. I'd say XRP did hold up pretty well. Yeah, I mean, the thing too is, like, I still have that VeChain shirt, and I mean, VeChain I haven't owned since end of October, and I think I had a small position. Yeah, I had a small position I sold in this. Oh yeah, I didn't get out too bad compared to freaking everything's down like 50% since I got out, pretty much. That's the thing too. Like, even Bitcoin's down. Well, not a full 50, but it's down substantially, 30, 40 since I got out. So there's that. But this is just falling off a cliff. I mean, these don't seem very hopeful, unfortunately. Unfortunately, they don't. There's Algorand. I mean, you look at some more of these. I mean, my algorithms. The Italian crypto. I kind of liked it, but it doesn't seem like there's much doing now. Some of these will come back, obviously, but we don't know. It's a different type of thing, different environment. So yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin right there. I think we should come up short term, like I've mentioned probably dozens of times in this live stream, but yeah. Holding there, hopefully. We'll see what happens. I hope that damn CPI doesn't screw us up, but it should be okay in all likelihood. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to look at. We could look at funding fees. They're negative, which would support the narrative that we come up a little bit. I think they're slightly positive, yeah, but still, that's not like a crazy. Yeah. And we've cleansed the market. I just want to see too, like, where are people trading on? I've been looking at some dexes to trade. We may or may not try something like that. I just want to see. What are some of the bigger ones? I mean, hyper liquid people, yeah. People have talked about that. I haven't researched it enough, to be honest with you guys, but yeah. Perp deck, it's these, right? I think that's yeah. It's kind of Edge. That's one of them. Antarctic's another. There's APA, yeah. That's been if we look at trading volume, Open Edge, yeah, it's those three. Hype is the one. So yeah, those are the big three, I would say. Who's got them? Some of these are a little bit, but yeah, if we look at the big three there, so yeah. My expectations for Bitcoin tonight, hopefully upward, but probably kind of range bound. I think we're going to bounce off of the volume area low here. We in all likelihood will, based on my analysis. So yeah, I mean, that's that. Let's see, been on about 40 minutes. It's not too much. I mean, yeah, 88 versus Bitcoin, sure. Gains are tax free. Oh, wow. I didn't know that, Taxel. I didn't know that about Germany. It's just crypto, or is it for stocks too? Pretty pro crypto. You wouldn't think that in Germany. Jeez. Is it for any income? Wow, that's pretty good. If you hold for more than, I mean, that's huge because if you, for any crypto, I mean, if you get a 10-20x, it's massive. Especially the taxes there are obviously really high. I mean, how do you like Germany? Like, I mean, I haven't been to Germany in some years. The last European place I was in was Helsinki, Finland. Spent a month there. Fun month. I liked Helsinki. People were really nice. Cool place. Not a ton to do, but I liked it. So yeah. Cardano versus Bitcoin. I think I already looked at this. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it looks very good. I'm afraid. There's that low. It just doesn't look bottomy to me. I don't know. Not yet. It probably will jump or do something though. This was This was supposed to be your previous bull run that everyone, including me, thought would happen. Nope. So unfortunately, some things from history repeat, some do not. That's the problem here. I wanted to look at XMR. That's probably continued to got to continue to get beaten. Actually, not too bad. I think this should come down a little bit more. Privacy tokens will always have some kind of allure. I feel like Zcash is the other one as well. And we could do some TA in this. Yeah, right there. Dog, yeah, that didn't do well, obviously. Didn't they create? There's a bunch of those. It's Dog to the Moon, yeah. This was, or is it this one, or is that a different one? I think it's this, right? That's the one I always looked at. That's not. I don't, yeah. This was popped back here in December. It did nothing. It just fell off a cliff. I mean, people were excited, but it did nothing, unfortunately. Gold versus Bitcoin. Yeah, we can look at that. I don't think I looked at that pair yet today. I don't even know what midnight is, which is hilarious. I don't know if that's a good sign. Gold versus Bitcoin. Big area. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Like if you look at these previous 400, 300, if you're factoring in usually what it does, diminished volatility, diminished, losses, that could be a top. But what I would look for, guys, would be at least this next 2 week, red dot, which you probably won't see until April or something. And that would be a more attractive conversion to me. So I'm gonna hold my gold for now. This 3 week would be nice, and that would probably hit sometime in April, May. That's what it's kind of pointing to. I think it's going to be an earlier bottom than some may suspect. I think maybe the cycle's dead in the sense that it bottoms earlier. Dog is the one. Yeah, it's just comical that you're looking at the wrong meme coin, the wrong dog meme coin, man. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be something that makes us all rich, but maybe I'm wrong. But I appreciate you guys asking me. Sure. I mean, I would look at it a little bit. I could try to look at it. Yeah, I don't mean to like. Undo could be attractive. People have talked about this. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I mean, if you want to mess around with a small position, be my guest, have at it. But if it goes lower, not my fault. I don't know. Undo versus Bitcoin. Let's see. I mean, that's just you're seeing some signs, but we don't know. I mean, this does not look too healthy overall. I mean, it's at E-5. How do I tell which is it? This dog? Yeah, this dog. It's a newer dog. Yeah, they revamped it because the old one was a failure. It could jump. I have no idea. I don't think it looks healthy though. It'd probably go down more farther because it's a stupid meme coin, as it usually should. I mean, remember the good old days? Remember the Shiba nonsense? I remember all that. Remember when that went berserk? You know, it did something. In fact, 24 was nuts and then just fell off a cliff. But yeah. So, yeah, there's that. But I do think, I mean, I would think XRP is probably the most attractive alt. I mean, I wouldn't be fooled necessarily by these double bottoms on certain alts, but they could, based on Bitcoin dominance, that looks bearish. It's not, maybe I'm being too pessimistic on them, but I would be curious, like, let's look at Undo versus Mr. MicroStrategy. I don't know if this is going to bounce here. It could. Looks like kind of its Bitcoin pair, but yeah. But most of these, when you look at like Cardano, for example, versus MicroStrategy, they generally have just bled, against, and I don't know if that's really going to be something that does too well. So, yeah, I think it's a few more months, I think an ideal, at this point, maybe an ideal portfolio, in a few months would be, 50, 60% Bitcoin, 20% ETH, 20% alts, maybe 30% ETH, 10% alts, pick your poison. And I think that hedges the bets pretty well. I mean, you could go higher Bitcoin, Dog at a lot of hype is the biggest Bitcoin meme coin, but just like, I just wanted to look at, let's just look at like Sol, Bitcoin, for example. I just wanted to look at, because the thing too is like it was choppy against Bitcoin for a while, and then it just fell off a cliff there, in a lot of 2025, unfortunately. And that jump out of nowhere and then just fell lower. You could be nearing some bottom here. I mean, it is a damn big area. Things could be, if others keeps outperforming Bitcoin, I mean, they can. Let's see. BNB. I haven't looked at BNB. Actually, I just wanted to look at, I don't know why I wanted to look at this pair, because I used to own this kind of more for shits and giggles, but you get the point. Yeah, this never had much relief against Bitcoin. Little bit right there. Just kept falling down. Anyway, what was I gonna? Let's look at BNB, sure. I mean, I think with all the Binance stuff, people are going to be more afraid of this. So I think it's finally going to like lose its bullish structure against Bitcoin, but who knows? Back down to these areas. I don't think it looks very good. I don't think it looks attractive at the moment. BNB versus Bitcoin. Let's see. Or just BNB. Yeah, I don't really need my. I don't think that looks very attractive. I think for the altcoin Bitcoin evaluations, you want to ear more towards the side of like it looks bearish, rather than bullish. That's what I would say. This does not look like a very bullish chart, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. I mean, let's respect the TA for now, I would say. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to get going in a second. It's almost midnight here. I'll definitely do something for you guys tomorrow, at least like a video or something. It'll be Friday. Got to plan some more stuff. Had a lot on my plate lately, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, but yeah, I think that I want to. Oh yeah, let's look at the Nasdaq and the Dow quickly. People have talked about these instruments of wealth. They don't look too good. Yeah, I mean, I would say, like I've been mentioning, these peaks I think are big, like 540 peaks, man, peaks, 15%. So it could, yeah. I mean, S&P 510, this 15, S&P 508, this 15 could be. The Dow was still making new all-time highs. I think this may have finally topped out for a bit. Yeah, here we go. I think the Pan Bondi was a good sell signal, a good top signal. The other thing too, I want to look at the insurance, because interest rates coming down, insurance stocks. I don't even. Never mind, that's not. least he. What was the? It's this, I think. Is that the? No, I don't think that's what I'm looking for. There's a few of these. I mean, Allstate one. That's been in that big range. The view is that when interest rates go down, these should dump, and the charts would probably support that too, at least to a certain extent. I think the 200 is a big psychological place. Curious if you compare this to the last time they cut. I mean, the last time they stopped QE was around here, and it came up farther. Okay. 18, it went down with everything else. 50, yeah, it kind of follows a SPY to a certain extent, obviously. Not, yeah, 23 was, and that was interesting because they were cutting interest rates then. Or no, they stopped raising interest rates, and that was Silicon Valley, and that's what made it go down. I don't know the environment in the late 90s, but I know that's why Buffett got kind of over here. Buffett bled. This really crashed here. But Buffett bled over there. I don't know why. He had obviously Geico, not Allstate, but you know, I guess similar situation. But that's that. Bad Bunny, halftime received there. You know, people don't really watch the Super Bowl where I am right now. I watched it at like a Chili's here. Yeah, they have Chili's where I am. I don't know if some of you guys know what country I'm in right now, but yeah, most of the people just cared about Bad Bunny. I think it was received pretty. You know, they like Bad Bunny generally. I don't even know what all the. I just don't follow like the pop culture too closely, so I don't really know what all the controversy and hype was over the Super Bowl this time around. But I don't know. I guess is Bad Bunny a liberal? I don't even know what it is. He didn't really do anything too weird. I thought the show was all right. I mean, compared to the Rihanna one but that was like the pregnant one and the weird, like kind of anyway. That one was probably the weirdest one I've ever seen. So yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna get going, guys. Really appreciate you guys. Check out the Discord. It's $35 a month, big discount for the bear market. Check it out. It's the first link down below, and in the pinned chat, you got BloFin 20% for your fees for life. Let me show you guys the BloFin thing. It's not bad. Pretty good trading volume, high trading volume. Get some cool futures bonuses. I think you could withdraw these bonuses. Don't quote me on it. Read the fine print there that you can't even taker volume. So that's if you're marketing in, but still, I'm marketing all my trades and just limit out. Positive bonus wildfire. 3 days. Taker volume. There's just some. Deposit cash flow limited to the first 100 users. Okay. So first 100 users, guys. You shouldn't have to worry about that. Doesn't say you can't withdraw it, so I think you should be able to. Lasts longer than 1 minute. Front cheating. All right. Yeah, so it doesn't say you can't withdraw it, so you should be able to. And BYDFI right here, so check it out, deposit bonuses. Yeah, I guess the Spanish aspect. I mean, I don't know. I mean, doesn't he could have done a song in English? I don't know. I think it was a little weird, but I mean, I don't think it's anything that wouldn't like boycott the Super Bowl from it or be all negative because of that. I just thought it was a little weird, but yeah, it would have been nice to have something in English too. It's whatever. I think it's more the future of America. Let's be real. Nothing anyone's going to be able to do about it. Anyway, guys, check out the links down below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.